guys, what's up? It's me, Joshua Russell, once again. Welcome back to my channel. I hope y'all doing well. I hope y'all having an awesome day today. And right now I'm going to be doing another video. This time I'm going to be going over my rating system. I've been watching some of my favorite YouTube content creators use different rating systems. Angry Joe gives out his review scores from 1 to 10. Chris Stuckman gives out review scores from 1 to 10 when he's reviewing video games, and he also gives out letter grades when he's reviewing TV shows and movies. Jeremy Johns has the most unique rating system. His scale ranges from dog shit to awesome-tacular. I thought it was funny and different from other rating systems. I've decided to make my own rating system and take some inspiration from the ones that I've just mentioned. Alright, now let's break down my rating system, starting with 0 out of 10. Bullshit. This is the absolute bottom of the barrel. A 0 out of 10 means whatever I'm reviewing has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. It's the kind of TV show, video game, movie, or comic book that feels like a complete waste of time and effort, as if no care or thought went into making it. Nothing works. Not the story, not the visuals, not the acting, not the gameplay, and sure as hell not the writing. A 0 out of 10 is reserved for projects so fundamentally broken or insulting that they don't even deserve to exist. It's the ultimate piece of shit failure, the kind of thing that I've warned people to stay away at all costs. A 1 out of 10 isn't quite as bad as bullshit, but it's still absolutely awful. At this score, there might be one single element, maybe a scene, a character, or a piece of artwork that isn't completely unbearable, but the rest is beyond saving. A TV show might have a halfway decent performance buried in a train wreck of bad writing. A game might have one mechanic that's functional, but everything else is broken. Calling something worse means that I don't think it's completely non-existent garbage, but is as close as you can get. A 1.5 out of 10 means that it's trash. The project is barely a step up from the worst of the worst. Something in it technically exists that makes it slightly better than a 1 out of 10, but that doesn't make it good either. This is the kind of TV show, movie, video game, or comic book you might laugh at for how bad it is, but once the amusement wears off, you realize that it's still a piece of shit. The writing is awful, the execution is sloppy, and there's no real value outside of pointing at it and saying, wow, this sucks. At 2 out of 10, we're looking at something that's actively painful to get through. Horrible means that the creators might have an idea, but everything about the execution is so poorly handled that it ruins the entire experience. The pacing is a mess, the characters are annoying as hell, the design is ugly as fuck, and the gameplay is frustrating. A 2 out of 10 project isn't just bad, it's exhausting. Watching or playing it feels like a chore to get through, and you wouldn't wish it on anyone else. Now we move on to the Abomination rating, 2.5 out of 10. An abomination is something so bad, it's offensive to the medium it's in. This is when you can tell the creators either didn't care or completely misunderstood what makes their genre work. A movie at this level might destroy a beloved franchise. A video game might be unplayable, filled with bugs, glitches, and broken systems. And a comic book might insult its own characters or readers. This rating is for projects that don't just fail, they feel like they actively spit in the face of the fans. A 3 out of 10 means that something is terrible. There's a faint structure of something that could have worked, but is buried under layers of failure. Maybe there's one halfway decent performance or a cool piece of concept art or a single level in a video game that feels competent, but it's not enough. Everything else is still fundamentally broken. Terrible projects are usually frustrating because you could see what could have been if the creators actually put in more effort. A 3.5 out of 10 means that it's god-awful. God-awful is just slightly above terrible, but only by the thinnest margin. This is when the project might have 1 or 2 moments that work, but they're so small that they don't save it. Instead, the majority of the time you're left groaning at the sheer incompetence on display. Whether it's writing that makes no sense, characters that are unbearable, or gameplay that's clunky and unfinished. This score screams failure. Now we're moving into the low end of mediocrity. A 4 out of 10 means that the project isn't completely broken, but it's still bad. You might be able to sit through it, but you won't enjoy it. A TV show at this level might have 1 or 2 decent episodes, but the majority is boring filler. A video game might technically function, but the mechanics are dull, the story is uninspired, and the fun factor is nearly non-existent. Bad means that you could force your way through it, but you'll regret doing so. A 4.5 out of 10 means that it's disappointing. Disappointing is when a project had real potential but failed to live up to it. Maybe the trailer looked good, the concept sounded great, or the franchise had a solid history, but the final product just let everyone down. This is worse in some ways than bad because you can feel the wasted opportunity. It's not the worst thing you've seen or played, but it's the kind of thing that leaves you annoyed that it wasn't better. A 5 out of 10 means middle of the road. It's not good, but not terrible either, just average. Average projects are the kind you watch, play, or read once, shrug, then forget about. They don't inspire strong emotions because nothing about them stands out. The story is serviceable, the gameplay is functional, the art is passable, but nothing else excels. It's basically background entertainment, something to pass the time with, but not something you'll ever revisit. A 5.5 out of 10 means that it's mediocre. Mediocre leans towards the negative than average. This is when something technically works, but feels uninspired or lazy. A mediocre movie might have decent production values, but a bland, predictable story. A mediocre game might play fine, but it feels like copying better titles without adding anything new. It's not broken, but it's not fun either. Mediocre is the kind of thing you consume and immediately wish you spend your time on something else. Meh is the definition of forgettable. At 6 out of 10, the project has enough good qualities to be considered slightly above average, but not enough to stand out. It's watchable, playable, or readable, but you won't remember much about it after you're done. Meh projects are fine for a rainy day or if you stumble upon them for free, but they're not worth going out of your way for. A 6.5 out of 10 means that it's okay at best. It's when you acknowledge a project isn't bad, but you still can't call it good. It might have some moments that really work, but they're inconsistent. A movie might have a great third act, but a boring first hour. A video game might have one fun mechanic buried in a sea of repetitive tasks. Okay at best means you can appreciate the effort, but it never quite gets there. A 7 out of 10 means that something is decent. Decent means a project is solid overall, with some flaws holding it back from greatness. You can enjoy it, and you might even recommend it to fans of the genre, but you'll point out the weaknesses. A decent video game might have fun gameplay but a weak story. A decent movie might be entertaining but full of cliches. At this level, the positives outweigh the negatives, but not by a huge margin. A 7.5 out of 10 means that it's good. Good is when a project works well and delivers an enjoyable experience. It's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be. A good movie keeps you entertained from start to finish. A good video game is fun to play, and a good comic book tells a solid story with art that brings it to life. You might not call it a favorite, but you'll walk away satisfied. An 8 out of 10 means great. Great is when a project stands out as something worth celebrating. It's well made, engaging, and leaves a strong impression. A great video game might have tight controls, an exciting story, and memorable levels. A great movie might have excellent pacing, strong performances, and an impactful direction. At this score, the flaws are minor compared to the strengths, and it's something you would recommend to almost everyone. An 8.5 out of 10 means that something is awesome. Awesome means the project goes above and beyond expectations. It's exciting, memorable, and a joy to experience. This is when you feel genuinely impressed by the creativity and craft. A video game at this level might introduce innovative mechanics, while a TV show or comic book might tell a story that sticks with you long after it's over. Awesome is one step away from the very top, reserved for things that deliver on nearly every level. A 9 out of 10 means that something is amazing. Amazing means the project is excellent in nearly every respect. It's something you'll not only enjoy, but probably revisit multiple times. A movie at this level is beautifully shot, perfectly acted, and emotionally powerful. A video game might have addictive gameplay, a rich story, and incredible replay value. Amazing projects aren't flawless, but their strengths are so strong that the flaws barely matter. A 9.5 out of 10 means that something is the best. Best is the highest possible score short of perfection. This is when a project feels like it defines its genre or medium. A video game at this level might be one of the best you've ever played. A movie might stand shoulder to shoulder with the greatest of all time. Best is reserved for projects that feel legendary. The kind of thing people will be talking about years from now. A 10 out of 10 means that something is a masterpiece. A masterpiece is perfection in your eyes. It's rare, but when it happens, it's unforgettable. A masterpiece does everything right. The story, the characters, the gameplay, the art, the music, the production values, it hits every note with precision, passion, and it leaves you with an experience you'll never forget. Whether it's a flawless film, a groundbreaking video game or TV show, or a comic book that redefines the medium, a 10 out of 10 masterpiece is the ultimate achievement. So yeah, that's my official rating system. From the absolute bottom of the barrel bullshit, all the way up to a flawless masterpiece. This is the scale I'll be using whenever I review TV shows, video games, movies, or comic books on the channel. I want to make something that feels fair, consistent, and also fun, because reviews shouldn't be about throwing numbers around. They should help us understand why something works or what doesn't work, and spark good conversations about the stuff we love or the stuff that we absolutely hate. Now, you might not always agree with my scores, and that's totally fine. Reviews are personal, and part of the fun of being a fan is having your own take. But this system gives me a clear way to express how I feel about a project and where it stands in terms of quality. Whether it lands in the meh category, reaches the levels of awesome, or if it's really special, achieves masterpiece status, you'll always know exactly where I'm coming from. I also wanted to give credit to the reviewers who inspired me. Angry Joe, Chris Stuckman, and Jeremy Johns all have their own unique systems, and watching them over the years gave me the push to make something that's truly my own. So now, moving forward, every time when you see a review on this channel, you'll know I'm using this system to break down my final verdict. So what do you guys think of my rating system? Do you like it? Do you think I should tweak anything? Or maybe you have your own system you use when you're talking about your favorite games, movies, or shows. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I love to hear what you think. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And you can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram and like me on Facebook. Take care, and I'll see you guys later.